I'm so excited about this, I gotta be honest. So we're gonna start the hot seat mastermind portion of level 2. We go 1 hour each week on Tuesdays at 12:30. Either Jenny or I will do it. The first thing that we'll do on every one of these calls is I'm gonna do what I call set the frame, which means that in this call, this is a place where it's completely participatory. Like it's all of you guys. Um, every one of you guys I'm going to be pulling in when I do hot seats with people for different frames of references, for learning experiences, for leadership exercises. So the only way this works is if you're present to this call. So let me give you what I'm present to. I'm present in this call for 1 hour until 1:30 p.m. EST. I'm going to be completely present. I'm going to be focused on getting everybody value, but most importantly, whoever's doing the hot seat, some sort of transformation which will affect everybody. So ask yourself right now. Okay, look out over your day. It's Tuesday in September. We're still in the crazy sprint season. How much time do you have to be present for this call? And if you can make that agreement with me in the chat box, how much do you have to be present to the call? If you've got a fire drill going on and you're only good for 10 minutes, I so honor that. I so respect it. Just acknowledge it and make that intention in the chat box. Because when somebody's going, it's a vulnerable place for them. And if they see people looking down or they're leaving, they could take that personally. So as long as everybody states their intention, no matter what it is, dude, I'm out already, totally cool, right? Whatever it is, or I'm good for the whole hour. It doesn't matter what it is, it just matters that you're intentional about it. Okay, great. So the second thing that we'll do on every hot seat is to get present. Okay, so let's spend about 90 seconds getting present right now so you guys get the most value for this call. The way that I like to get present, and I like to do it a couple different ways, but today we'll do it like this, is I want you to first start with what does it feel like to be you right now? Okay, so do a scan. Scan first, start right in your abdomen. How are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious, nervous, stressed, excited, happy, enthused, present, relaxed, about to go crazy, whatever? Just become aware of the experience of who you are right now. What does it feel like to be you? I'll talk about it really quickly too. This is a leadership exercise for you too. Having separation from who you truly are and what you're feeling in a moment is one of the key hallmarks of great leaders. Great leaders can say, I'm really stressed right now from a present place. Weak leaders are just stressed and start reacting. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so this is a leadership exercise right now. Okay, once you become aware of the experience of you, now I want you to bring out your best self. You guys all have 3 different selves. You have your best self, you have your average self, and you have your below average self. So right now, I want you to bring out your best self by focusing in on somewhere in the past where you've just been on it, where you've just crushed it. Okay, great. So let's go through and make a couple more agreements so that we get the most out of this call. Oh, my thing's not working. Hold on real quick. Okay, so what we're doing in this call from level 2 from here on out is our mission to help you is for you to build a world-class practice so that you have the freedom to live what we call an inspired life. An inspired life, how we define it, is somebody that's making really good money, because we need really good money in this world to live, and this business pays that way. It means that you're making an impact on your clients' lives, on your company's lives, on your team's lives. And then number 3 is that you have time left over to have a life. Okay, this is a key component here. Okay, so this is our mission in level 2 from here on out for you guys. It's those 3 things. That's our definition of inspired life. That's what we're doing. Everything's gonna be filtered around that. How do you do that? Okay, so when people are going in hot seats and stuff, I'm gonna be filtering through these 4 things right here. I'm gonna be asking myself this problem, because from a tactical perspective, from what I've seen from coaching literally hundreds and hundreds of people, it's one of these 4 that's holding somebody back. The first one's very tactical. It's, do you have a separate business line that you work on? And that's a team text and a team email that's separate from your personal. Somebody might go, dude, that's so elementary, and this could be mind-blowing for somebody else. Okay, there is no way to have freedom in your life without this key aspect. This is straight tactics. This is a non-negotiable going forward. I get it, that it's tough and that there can be a lot of mindsets around it, but that's what we're here to help with. The second one, my thing's not working, so this might be a little. The second shift in order to do that is to have a predictable marketing system that generates clients consistently, that is not dependent on your energy, your willpower, or your mood. Okay, so at the live event, I see a couple people on here. I see Paula and Melissa. I know weren't on here. I don't think Darren was there, so I'm just going to talk really quickly on that. There's a lot of studies out where willpower is a finite resource. It's not something to run a business on, because you have so much willpower each day, and once you use it, you're kind of done. So in order to have a great world-class practice, it's having marketing systems that are not dependent on how you feel this day. I don't feel like marketing today. I don't feel like talking to a realtor today. I don't feel like asking a past client for something. Okay, and then we don't do it. This is one of the key reasons why. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. The third component is, again, this isn't really working that well, but is to have a consistent automated process that delivers world-class service to your clients. ... Ready for the next line? Because this is what I want you to hear. Please don't have any shame, guilt, or anything about what I'm about to say. Okay, I've made this mistake somewhere between 17 and 97 times. Okay, I've seen literally almost everybody makes this mistake. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Have a consistent automated process that delivers world-class service to your clients, that your teammates work that system. It's not that your teammates are the system. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, this is how it happens. I was just talking to a gentleman late night on Saturday after I do a whole live event. I ended up staying at the bar area till almost like 3 a.m. But I was talking to a guy, and he was deciding if he should go from level 1 to level 2, and he goes, well, I have 16 loans right now in my pipeline, and I'm so overwhelmed. So I just hired somebody that's starting on Monday. And I was like, oh God, here we go. Why did you hire this? Tell me about this person. Dude, it was like a buddy from college. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let me just tell you what's going to happen. It's not going to work out. And so the step, but here's the thing, is that only comes from personal experience, right? We all do that. We get overwhelmed. We want somebody to come in. We don't have a tight system for them to work. We just go, hey, come in and look over my shoulder. I'll kind of talk out loud and you figure it out. Sometimes they stay, right? So sometimes they stay. So then somebody right now might be going, Deryck, sometimes they stay. Here's the deal, okay? Then I want you to feel this. That person holds you hostage. You don't have a business. Okay, because if they leave, the analogy I always use is if they leave and move and decide to move and go to Milan, you're out of business for like a good 6 to 12 months trying to replace that person. You see the difference? I was talking to the guy, the analogy I used in when I was talking to him late at night on Saturday was, if you guys picture McDonald's, okay? So the way that McDonald's doesn't even have freaking good food, right? But they're this international conglomerate based on this one principle. The McDonald brothers created a process, and they hired people to do that process, and the business was the process. What almost everybody does, and as I said, I'm not throwing anybody on the bus because I made this mistake too, is what everybody does is, if the McDonald brothers had done this, gosh, we're getting really busy with all these hamburgers. We just need to hire anybody to come in and cook hamburgers. Well, how do you want me to cook the hamburgers? I don't know. Just figure it out. Let's cook a hamburger. Go look on Google, man. Right? And now you have no standards of service, right? And so they have no business, and they'd be out of business really quickly. So with the McDonald brothers, it's a really cool movie if you guys haven't seen it. It's out maybe 2 years now, where it details that process. Ray Kroc came in, and he was like, it's fine, right? Burgers are okay. But came in, and they had this assembly line process built. So that's what Ray Kroc bought from them, that right there. So this is a key component, and I get it. So don't have shame around this, because there's going to be a lot of people, even with a hot seat, like, well, now what do I do, Deryck? Like, that's a big question, right? It's a big question for people. So, and then the fourth one is to become a leader that people who serve with excellence love to follow. Okay, so you've set up your business like a doctor does, right? The doctor doesn't give you your cell phone. They have a business line, and they run their business as a practice. They have marketing systems. Your marketing systems aren't based on your willpower. You have an automated system that you own, and then you have people working that. Now it's all about becoming a leader that people love to follow. Cool. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do in this every Tuesday at 12:30 from here on out is we're going to do a hot seat mastermind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, and I'm going to say, who has an ask? Who has a specific question that they have? An ask is a specific question about your business. Okay, so here's a good way to do it. We already have somebody who's volunteered today. If you have a question, just put in the chat box, I'd like to volunteer. If we get to it, great. If not, we'll do it next week. Here's the deal: is have a defined ask, like, so that we can get context around it. And like Jenny or I, whoever's coaching, will go, we might just answer it. If I get a sense that it's a straight tactical thing and I've got it, I may just answer it right away. It might be a 30-second hot seat. I may ask clarifying questions if I don't have it. If I don't have it in my mind too, I will go to the group. So this is why I ask you to be present during these things. I might literally randomly go, hey, Amber, what's going through your head right now on this thing? I literally do that. So you guys just be aware of that. Okay, so that's why you have to be in the game on this, because here's the deal. When you help somebody else get a breakthrough, or you help something, or you using your brain to try to figure out what the answer is, you're learning and growing. So this is an experiential class for you guys. Does that make sense? Guys, I've studied the best way that human beings learn. This is the best I've ever seen. These are the best results we've ever gotten. I've tried so many different things, one-on-one. I've tried smaller groups. We've tried these type of groups. This is where we've gotten the best value because of the experiential part, where you're involved in this question. You're trying to figure out. I can't tell you how many times I'll do something and I'll help somebody, and then I'll get messages like, I wasn't even close on, that's not where I was thinking. I'm like, okay, cool. That's your learning and growth as a leader, right? So when you say at the end, you go, dude, how am I going to become a leader that people love to follow? Show up this every week, and you're going to learn it by doing, right? Because here's what I discovered. I can sit around and yap all I want, and you can take notes all you want, but you learn by doing. That's the truth. Is that fair? That's the best way that people learn. Most of the time, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. Most of the time, it's a mindset question that people are asking. Okay, maybe not in this group because we have some people that have been in for a long time. But historically, it's usually a mindset question disguised as a tactical question. So you as a leader, right, when your teammate or somebody comes to you and they ask a straight tactical play, you just answer it. You might not even help them. Does that make sense? And so what you're doing is you're always stepping back from what's going on, and you're evaluating in a different place, rather than you're not just getting thrown off by whatever word somebody's using. So the if it's a straight tactical question and we get that sense, then they're open for advice. If it's not a tactical question, advice is the worst thing you can do for them. Isn't that interesting? So if somebody's up here and they disguise the tactical question, it's really a mindset question, and everyone's like, okay, just do this. Use bomb for this, and you and do like, and they start getting almost thrown up on. Literally, it's like an awful experience for them. And so that's why it's like you have to step back. You're always evaluating, is this what it is? And guys, this is what it is for your borrowers and realtors too, right? Let me give you one right now that we all know. What's your rate is not a what's your rate question 90% of the time. Is that fair? Does that make sense to everybody? Hey, what's your rate? I'm nervous. I don't know what else to ask. See what I mean? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so you'll see the same thing play out here too. Let me see where I put the agreements. Then let's just make some agreements and let's let it roll. I gotta find where I put the agreements. Sorry, my computer's a little weirdo today. Okay. Okay, so let's go through some agreements. Here's the deal. In order for this thing to rock and you guys get world-class results from this, we have to have confidentiality. Okay, you guys are all wildly, wildly important to your companies. I'm looking around the room and I know almost all of you guys, so I'm not accusing or anything like that. I can tell you we have in the past had people disguised as like, I want to learn, and they're recruiting. So that's not what we're doing here. So if we can have that agreement right off the top is, can we have confidentiality that anything that's said within this confines that you keep amongst yourself? Is that fair? Second one is when you're asking any question, I'll shut it down if I like, well, I make these many basis points or my company, blah, 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 right? Like anything like that. Here's the deal. That might be something real for you. We just don't serve that question. Is that fair? That's not our area of expertise. We don't make comments on anything company related or anything comp related or anything like that. We believe that every company, you can work a great partnership out with whatever company you're at. And you can do that by becoming a better leader, yes. But anything from a management or anything like that, we just don't comment with. So if I hear any of that, then I just say, hey, listen, we don't serve that. It might be real for you though. And we honor and respect that. It's just not something that we serve. The third one is to have the courage to be vulnerable. This is a big one. This is why, guys, that when you go, wait, is that me? Do I ask a tactical question disguised as a mindset? You might be saying that. The reason why is because in almost every context in our world, we don't have the courage to be vulnerable because people do take advantage of it sometimes. We've been taken advantage of, and we go, man, I'm going to go ahead and hide that in here. But in a coaching context, for us to really serve, vulnerability is important so that we can help. The fourth one is we've already done it a little bit, but honor your greatness. And then honor your greatness. So when you're in your greatness right now, if somebody's going, watch that voice. Make sure that you're honoring the greatness in them when they're going. Hold that space for them. Again, this is a hallmark of great leadership too, for you guys to get this is, our brains sometimes will go to a critical place maybe and say, well, she or he is just this, and that's, if he just did this, right? Like all that stuff. What's going on is they're just not they're not holding their greatness for themselves. So by you holding their greatness for them, that's how you can serve people. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, cool. So, golly, man, sorry. So that's 24 minutes. So we have 36 minutes left right now for hot seats. I went a little slow, but I think it was important on the first one. So the first hot seat that reached out, and you can put in a chat box if you want a hot seat. The first one that wanted one was Mario. So let me just say before I go to him, if after that nobody wants one, then what I will do is manufacture one with somebody. Not in a mean way. Okay, not in a mean way, but like, I like in a way that you guys that were just at the live event, you saw me start to do that. Like, I'll just say, hey, let's have a conversation, and I'll start asking questions. Okay. Um, so what works really well, what serves everybody is if you go, I'm struggling with this. And if you go right now, as I'm talking to Mario, if you're like, I don't even know, what should I do on? Where are you stuck? Are you stuck anywhere? Are you struggling with anything? Here's the biggest one that I'll get all of you on. If you really want to know how to do a hot seat, is if I was to come and sit next to you for a week, what's the one thing I would tell you that would make the biggest difference in your business? Okay, so that might knock a couple things loose for you, but those are some of the questions I'll be asking you if we don't have people that volunteer. Okay, great. So with that being said, Mario, you are on, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. So it became very clear to me where I wanted to go with my business. And in order to serve more clients, my referral partners, and lead my practice to where I want it to go, I need to expand and hire on my team. And my question to you, or I guess the group is when is the right time for me to hire?
Okay, so first question is what scares you about hiring? What are you fearful about hiring? What do you dread about it?
I guess the fear that I have with it is I've made a few bad hires in the past where I hired a past client of mine. I probably didn't do enough research into their capabilities. And to be honest, what really probably a direct reflection of me is I kind of just threw them into the burger situation, just, go cook some burgers. And I didn't have a crystal clear process. So I kind of threw them in and said, figure it out, help me. So failed them in that.
Are you willing to say that that was not a failure, but that was a learning experience for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you kind of dropped down right there. Did you feel yourself?
Drop down?
Yeah, like your energy dropped a little bit in a good way. Like it got more real.
Well, I felt guilt for like I failed them, if that makes sense. So
yeah, it makes total sense, right? So that's why, are you willing to forgive yourself first for that you were just learning and growing?
I am.
Yeah, I think you noticed how I started this. Did you notice what I think I said 17 and 95 times I've made mistake from a hiring perspective? It's somewhere in that range. I'm not really sure. So, but you see that I don't have, like, I say it like this, like, hey, I'm always learning and growing. Are you cool with that kind of mentality, that kind of mindset?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's your mission right now?
My mission is to serve 137 families and get to a place where I can work 30 to 35 hours a week and detach from my business when I'm not here.
Okay. What is where are you at right now? Like, what's your projection for September? How many units?
13.
Okay. What's your current structure? Do you have anybody on your team, or are you one person?
I have a loan processor on my team, and then I have one loan officer under me who's on my team. I had an assistant up until April who left and went back into the dental field.
Okay. Where are you at with building your automated process?
So I'm completely into Sales Machine. I actually have all of my referral partners added into the system. I added 7 new VIPs for life here. I got permission to add 7 new people. I did that over the course of the last 2 days.
Using it for the fulfillment side, so it's automatically talking to realtors for you? Are you
Correct.
Okay. So do you feel like that you understand the system and you use it and it's like you own it and you can hire somebody to assist them?
I don't know that I haven't mastered 100% yet. Part of my goal was when we were there was to eliminate some of the systems. I felt like I had just too many things out there that were doing little bits and pieces. So I've already eliminated one of them in Lion Desk. So I sent the cancellation in on that yesterday, and I'm going to eliminate the other one, which is the company provided one, which I'm only using right now for a birthday program.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry and I are going to get together when I get back from being out west to incorporate that birthday program into Sales Machine. Sales Machine.
You have how much? I know you were there this weekend. So how many liquid reserves do you have?
36 months.
Okay. In your market, what's like what's like the best assistant go for?
I honestly don't know. 50,000 maybe.
There's one thing to write down. Because you're upper Midwest, right?
Correct. Wisconsin.
So it's different than, I'm East Coast, so it's different all over the nation. Well, let me just use $5,000 a month, okay? It's not that do you have the emotional capacity to hire somebody for 90 days, which would cost you $15,000, and it might not be the right hire?
Absolutely.
You're willing to make that kind of investment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you check a lot of boxes, man. And then the next question is, do you want to now?
I absolutely want to.
Okay. Okay, so it's now done. So then the question becomes, and you sound very tactical. Do you guys hear that? Like, do you see, like I've tried to knock them loose a little bit, but this sounds really tactical. Okay, so you sound really good to me. You sound like you're in a good place. You have the financial reserves for it. You seem like you can look. Here's the key thing, right, guys? So like I see some people leaning in being like, what's Deryck doing right now? Here's the key thing that I'm getting. Can he look at it as an investment, or is he looking at it as a cost? If you're looking at it as a cost, it rarely works for somebody. So if you're like, this is going to cost me $5,000 a month and I can't do it, I'm like, don't do it. You either don't have the reserves yet, or you're not in an emotional place yet to do that. And it's fine. So if somebody's thinking that, like, that's totally fine. If I had picked up something in his language right there, then I would have said, hey, listen, bear down, work 40 to 45 hours a week right now, save your money, make sure you get in a good place. That $15,000, if it's the wrong person or if they leave, is not gonna break you, that you're okay with that. It's a straight investment. Because here's the equation. Mario, you work it for me. If you spend $5,000 a month, this is how you talk about in finance. What's your return on investment? What would that give you?
If I was working for you?
No. What if you have this person, you have somebody awesome working for you, and you're spending $5,000 a month? What does that $5,000 get you?
I would think that I'd be able to service a minimum 2 more families per month.
Okay, so let's call that
Return on investment. Let's say my average commission on something like that would be about 3,500. So $1,500.
Okay, so that's not maybe good enough right now. I would say you want to have a higher threshold for that. So I would be looking at it like, I can serve an extra 5 families a month, and I'm going to have an extra X amount of hours of freedom. And then what does that make? Is that fair? Everybody see what I'm doing right there? Return on investment? So let's rework that, Mario. Like, what?
I'm kind of lost on that. I'm sorry.
Who said that?
Rhonda.
Okay. Well, Rhonda, let me just stay with him because he's in a hot seat right now. But if you want to do a hot seat for you around, let me understand that better. Is that fair? Okay, cool. So Mario, let's get a better, like, so what would that give you in terms of freedom? How many more hours or peace of mind?
I think it would definitely give me a peace of mind, but I think it would give me an additional 5 hours of freedom per week that I'm spending right now doing those tasks.
Okay, so 5 hours a week, let's say, I'm going to just do a broad number here. Say if you work 40 hours a week divided by, let me do that number. So what I'm taking is like 40 hours a week, guys, times 40 times 50. So it's 2,000 hours in a year. If he saves, let's say he's making, I'm just making this up, so I don't know. And I don't actually want to know, so I'm just saying that I'm using about 300,000 divided by 2,000 hours. So your bill rate's about $150 an hour. That's what you're worth. So 5 hours a month 5 hours a week, 750 a week, 750 times 4 is $3,000 a month. So you get an extra $1,500 in loan production plus $3,000 in your personal time. So now you're at $4,500. How do we quantify peace of mind, though? I don't even know how to do that. How much is your peace of mind worth for you, Mario?
I'll tell you what, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy some efficiency. So if I can put off some tasks on some other people and things that I don't, necessarily need to be doing, or some of the paper pushing, peace of mind is worth a lot. So.
Okay. So then the next step for you is to start. Do you feel like you're at like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Now you start getting tactical from a hiring person for how do you attract now what I was talking about? How do you attract the best people who serve with excellence? Because now this is where you get the big return on your dollar, right? So instead of you just writing an ad like loan officer assistant, 50,000 a year plus base commission, and right? Everybody goes, ugh. So this is what I want you to consider is I want you to start on Facebook and with anybody you know, to your entire database, to everybody on Facebook, everybody on Instagram, and everybody on LinkedIn. Hey guys, I'm on this mission. State your mission. My mission is to serve 137 families with excellence and world-class service. I'm looking for the best loan partner to come and join me on this mission. Does anybody have any candidates? It's one of the keys. Remember when I was talking about becoming a leader or hire people that want to serve with excellence? It's also the language that you use. It's the picture that you paint. It's the imagination, because here's the deal. There's a lot of amazing people in this industry that are really unhappy. And I don't know if Terry's on. Is Terry on? No, Terry's not on. But live, what I did, guys, is I just went to Terry, who was a loan partner. And he said really the best thing that he was looking for was he wanted to work for somebody that had a system that he just had to do the system. He didn't need to be the system. So that step that I talk about in number 3 is one of the key determinants to attracting an A player. So if you're out there and you just do that language, right, without the step, and then somebody comes in, this is what they're looking at. Like, is he organized? Does he have a system? What's my day-to-day going to look like? What kind of person is he? Does he fly off the handle at me? What's his expectations? Those are the questions that are going in their mind. Disguised as what's the salary? Does that make sense? Hey, what's the salary? That's not your real question right now. I go like this. Well, we'll get to it, but let's keep talking and see if we're a fit first. And then in the interview process, you're asking that. You're giving them the space for that. You're going, hey, what are the real questions that you have for me? Are you going to be calling me on Saturday night at 9 p.m.? If they're not telling you that's what they're thinking, they're not telling you the truth. If they've been in the business for a long time. The really good ones will go like this, like, okay, what are your expectations? When am I at work hours? What happens in after work? But most of them haven't been in coaching and don't want to ask those questions. They don't feel comfortable yet. So you kind of have to draw that out of them. So what's your big concerns? Like, what are your biggest fears with this? So get really clear then, Mario, the next step is you get really clear on what do you expect of them. So what do you expect of them?
I expect them to offer the same level of service and help me run a better, more efficient practice than I am right now.
Yeah, Jenny just put in here too. I think this is excellent. So the way that you just define that right now is very general. So if I was experiencing you, I'd go, what does better and higher, like, what does that mean? Like, that's the question that'd be going into my mind. Mario, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for you? Jenny asked this question, and she said, "What kind of person and leader do I need to become to attract and retain amazing loan partner? Like, who do you need to become?"
I got to become the best version of myself.
Yeah.
I got to be the guy who I was yesterday and this morning and every day going forward.
Yeah. 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 I mean, here, you ready for this, guys? This might be not what you wanted to hear, but my job is to just to tell the truth. A players work for A players. So it starts with you. And then you say, okay, well, can you define that a little bit more from a tactical perspective? I would have shifted like this. I want you to hear this. We have a world-class fulfillment system. I need somebody that's highly personable and wants to give great care and to serve each and every client like it's their own family. I don't need you to come up with a new system. I don't need you to do it a different way. I don't need you to think about any of that stuff. I just need you to work our system. I need you to make every single person feel absolutely loved and cared for. So without that step, right? So if you guys skip number 3 that I was talking about, then you're doing this. Like, I need you to help me. And they're going, bye-bye. Now the C and D players go, okay, cool. They go like this. They need me. I'm good. They're never gonna be able to fire me. So C and Ds are attracted to that. A players are like this. Wow, you have a system. I don't need to develop a system. I just come in and I do this, like, and you tell me what I need to do, and I just have to show up with my awesome self. I just really care for people. Dude, I'm in with that. So everybody wants to go to that step first. I don't know why our industry doesn't teach this stuff or whatever, right? So the step, which is the most painful step, is to really get your system built first and you own it. You can like that, so that if that person decides to leave, you're fine. You're like, okay, cool. Can you give me 30 days to find somebody else? Awesome. Nothing in your business doesn't even, your business doesn't miss a beat. It's hard to do. And for anybody that didn't come to Inspire, I highly recommend reading the book Built to Sell. And it's a fantastic book. How to build a business that can thrive without you. World-class book. It's written in a story format. You have to, it's not how to build a mortgage or a real estate practice. It's how to build, I think he was building a branding business or something like that. But the principles of it, you can, they translate. Mario, what other question do you have in your mind?
I guess that was my main question, is when to start. And then the second question would be where to start. So I think I got that from putting the post out on Facebook. So I jotted down the verbiage that you put on there. So,
and then anybody, right? You want the referral. You want it coming from somebody that you can go, I cannot recommend enough to take the pain long enough to get a referral that you can have some context of who they really are. People are really adept at fooling people in interviews. They're world class at it. You take classes on it, how to write a resume, how to fool people in interviews, how to get right. I cannot recommend enough. I've made that. We can do a session time on like every mistake I've ever made and like what happened around it. But there was one time, it was 09, right? I think you've heard that story of me. I locked 48 loans in March of 09. And I had one person. And I literally went to Craigslist, did exactly what I'm telling you not to do. It was the most miserable experience of my life. She started the next day. But it was the wrong fit, and it made my life a living hell. So, whereas the best people I've had were like what I just said right there. Like, hey, I take the time, I get a referral from somebody, I have a context, I can see, like, they can give me context, and I can see a context of who they really are. So that's why, Mario, it's doing all that on social, but then it's also speaking that out to every loan officer in your area that you're friends with. You can use this group too. Hey, like, look, guys, here's the deal. You could use this group. I don't mind this. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm right with this. I don't mind saying, does anybody know anybody that's awesome if you're willing to hire somebody remote? Okay, so no stealing anybody's people like that. But like if somebody knows somebody at their company and they reach out, like you don't have a position for them, that I'm okay with that as long as there's no stealing or competing or anything. But here's one of the shifts that I do. Like my business now, Terry's in California, Shira's in Florida, Jenny's in North Carolina, Hillary's down the street. But to me, the person is not the location too. And now with Zoom in there, you can literally we meet every day, like we're in our own office. So it gives you the ability to maybe hire somebody that's not like physically in an office. If you need somebody to come to your office, your pool has just gotten a lot smaller. It's not that it's bad. That might be part of your model. I totally honor that. But if you're willing to say, hey, listen, I can hire an A player. If you're an A player, you can potentially work at home or you can whatever, right? Use things like Zoom. I feel so connected to our team using this. I run our business like this. So anybody that Mario, and then you're waiting until you get that referral, and it's not a referral that they're trying to talk you into it. It's a referral like, tell me about this person. How do you know this person? What have you seen? You can do that. If you guys can do what I just said here, literally, you won't be able to build a practice that's a world-class practice, give you freedom tomorrow, right? But if you're building this for the long term, you will get it. Does that make sense? Cool. How else can I serve you, Mario? Do you feel complete?
Yeah, this has been great.
You feel totally complete? You're not left with anything like?
I don't think we left anything on the table. I think what I'm going to do though is, I don't know, I'm going to look more at the numbers. I think 5,000 would be an awful lot for an assistant here in my market.
Yeah, as I said, I just made that up. I'm just using that as a round. The point is that do you get that it's a 90-day thing? At the 90-day mark, if you made a mistake. And I want
actually Dante actually talked to me about that. And I think a lot of times in the past where, the way I was originally taught in my management style was I was willing to drag every person along and carry the weight, do everything I possibly could to try to get them there.
I made that mistake 20 times.
I'm willing to do a 90-day trial. I mean, obviously I'm going to hire them for, long-term, but if it doesn't work out after 90 days, I can't be emotional about that fact. And we'll just have to part ways. So.
Yeah. And the way is that, again, if you part from love and from not trying to hurt somebody, hey, listen, I'm eliminating the position, or I made this isn't just my vision of this. I'll give you 30 days. I'll give you a good recommendation. I don't want to hurt you, stuff like that. Like if you can get into how you can part with from love and say, you're fired. It's traumatic for them too. You still have to take on the responsibilities that I missed something in that interview. That's on me. And if you take that, then you go, listen, let me give you 30 days. That's on me. That's what I do if I make a mistake. I'll help you out. Get anything. And then it's not fun, but here's one of the best things that I want you guys to write down. This is a game changer that's so profound, but it makes all the sense in the world. It's hire slow, fire fast. And we usually do the exact opposite, almost everybody.
I'm with you on that.
My 40 plus year, right? Since I've been 40 plus, I've done a lot better on that. But I needed to hear that a bunch because I think the 20 and the 30-year-old selves tend to just hire your buddies from college. Dude, you need a job? Awesome. Right, and 40 and over, it's let me do some more research on this and take the time. We just hired Jenny. That only took 8 months. You want to say something, Jenny?
2.5 years.
Yeah, but I didn't. I did like from the point where it was like, wait, you're actually considering this? And then okay, like that has been about 8 months. Starting right now, we started talking about this in January of Elevate last year, where we're sitting at dinner, and she goes, Deryck, I gotta share you through my vision. I think I wanna I don't remember exactly what it was, Jenny, but like I want to fly first class and change lives and help people. I'm like, what? Um, but I had known Jenny for 2 years, right? Before, so that's a good point though too, is that we had a context of her on there. So I'm not saying that you need to do that, but that's the kind of level that you want to take with when you're hiring somebody. Is you want to say, I can do this for a little while, because a bad hire, guys, is not fun. It's just not. It's really not. It's better to perfect your system a little bit, work 45 hours until you find a really good person. Now, is it going to be the perfect person, or are you still going to make a mistake? Yes. But at that point, you just go fearless, right? You go fearless. Is that fair? So I have 10 minutes left. So I don't want to shortchange anybody, but if anybody has more of like a surface type hot seat that you don't think it's a mindset thing, I would hate to cut it off halfway through, but I have 10 minutes. Somebody said they'd go after this. I think it was Lisa Marie. So Lisa Marie, I don't know how in depth you are. Do you feel comfortable with a 9-minute cap, or do you want to hold it for next time?
No, we can roll.
Okay.
I think it's actually a really great segue to Mario's, because I'm at that next step where I wrestled really hard and like, no, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not ready, and it's a cost, and I had fear about it, but then finally got to the point of, yes, you know what, I see the investment. It does make sense. I'm getting to the point of the business has been great, but I'm getting burned out, and I know that it is what will serve my business and myself better. So, and I have had an idea for a while of who the person might be. It's somebody that's already within my company that already works with my files and has a desire to make more money, have a little bit more freedom in their schedule as well. So I had a lot of talks at Inspire around this with a lot of people, and had talks with management yesterday more in depth on doing that, and they're fully on board and supportive. Had a long talk with her about it, and was proud of myself that I was really clear on what I expected for my business and what I wanted that role to look like. Mm-hmm. What I need help with is outside of your basic things. What I don't have is a system in place to know what it is that I'm handing off to her. So outside of, taking off things like non-income producing activities and getting her set up with Terry to have her be my other person on Sales Machine, outside of those things, what are some things that you all that have assistants have your person do, so that I'm not kind of reinventing the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic question. Let's just, you sounded really well. You sounded in your power. Do you use the Sales Machine from the fulfillment standpoint, like that it's talking to realtors and doing the service side of it for you?
I'm really new into getting it set up. So I've got realtors in there, and that's.
You use them like, hey, they're at this point, it's talking to your realtors, like how Jenny was doing it?
Right.
You're doing that. Okay. And do you feel confident in that, like enough that you could show somebody this is what you do at this level, this is how you do this? This is.
I think another session or two with Terry would help me out there, as well as, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm ready to start doing that on doing the client for life things. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be, a great thing. That's, one off the top of my head already that I could have the call, but then have this person be inputting the data in for me to get it set up.
So this is what we're going to do for you guys. Is this call is being recorded. So everything I said to Mario, we'll chop that and I'll put that into, we're going to create a level 2 on the website so that you can go back and listen to that, because there was a lot in there for Mario. Like what I just said with Mario right now needs to be heard like at least 10 plus times for people, right? Because there's some crossover in what you're talking about. So that was recorded, so we're going to put that on the website. The second thing right below it is we're going to give you guys a Jenny did this so unbelievably, and her relationship with Connie is really going to be the model, like the default model. You guys take it where you want, but then I'll have her post Connie's job description in there under that, and we'll just, Jenny, can we just call it hire your Connie? Like, is that fine? Is Connie okay with that?
Sure, she won't care.
Okay. So those will be the first 2 lessons in the level 2 in there too for you, Lisa Marie. And then you can take that from a checklist perspective and you can tailor it to yours. The way that Jenny's business was set up was just the freedom that it created for her, where she's closing $4 million in Hawaii, working 3 days a week still, but everybody's getting great service and nobody's like overworking is groundbreaking. So that's why her and I are both going to do it. I can talk from I think my greatest gift is the leadership side and the coaching side. I think Jenny's greatest gift is she did this, she built it. She created a business that she is getting paid for residual income, and she's now able to go pursue her calling of coaching in there. And the so that whatever your inspired life is it has to be your situation. A lot of people in level 3 want to do 500 units a year or be number 1 in the whatever it is, right? But the steps that she did, so she's going to be a really phenomenal resource for you guys from from the mindset around that, the tactical perspective, how she just did it, and then we'll use hers as the model in there too. So we'll put those will be the first 2 lessons in level 2. Talking to Mario about, so Mario, you get to go back and listen to it too. And then we'll put, Mario's was kind of how to find your Connie, and Jenny's will be what's the job duty of Connie right there. We'll put that in there. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you have to feel complete?
No, that's it. I'm ready to roll in the next step.
Awesome. Resist that urge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody else told her that too.
Yes.
Did you, Jenny?
Well, that's why I kind of want these ideas so that it's set up right. We're working on time frames as far as when that person's coming to me. So I have time here before that transition is going to happen, so that I can get this stuff nailed down before that starts.
There you go. That was right.
Yeah. The Facebook group is a great place too. There's a level 2 Facebook group still, right, Dee? Like other people, like Kim has a job description for Mary, and Jane has a job description for her girls. So, I mean, there are other resources. I'm happy to share mine, but mine's not the end all be all either. So,
right, and that's kind of, I'd like to see different people's lists of what it does your person do for you, so that I can customize it for what's going to work for me.
Yeah. That's an excellent thing too. So Jenny's will be the default on the site, right? So like the default, even when I did this sales machine for you guys, like my system was just the default. Hey, look, this is what I do. Customize it if you want to do it your own. The key point is that you do it and you own it, right? So mine was a default. Connie's will be the default, but then you use anybody else in the group. This is where we get to help each other. If somebody else has a better job description or something, awesome. Cool. Guys, we're at 128. That was a phenomenal first one. Great job. I appreciate you guys. I was watching everybody's eyes. Everybody was fully engaged. Really, really appreciate your presence to that. Mario can probably attest to it. It's a little bit nerve-wracking to go, and everybody was engaged, and that really helped him too. In there. And then I think Lisa, you felt that too, right? Everybody was engaged, and that really helped. So guys, I'll never take more time than yours. I get being top producing loan officer, trust me. So I really appreciate your time and attention. We'll see you next week. You guys have a great day.
Bye guys.